Hello, everybody. We are WordPress Tampa Bay, and this is the Ask Us Anything Crowdsourcing WordPress Support Workshop. I am Jim Drew, the lead organizer at WordPress Tampa Bay, and below we have Elaine Simmons of Elaine Simmons Design and Travis Lopes of Cosmic Giant, our other lead organizers for WordPress Tampa Bay. Jen Novak may be joining. We'll find out shortly, but let's get started. So, like I said, we are WordPress Tampa Bay. We meet monthly on the third Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. We're doing these as online Ask Us Anythings, and we're considering in-person quarterly socials. We had one, when was it, June? I think that was June, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the last one. So we might do something in January. We'll see. We'll keep it open. Our meetup group is meetup.com/WP Tampa Bay. Our website is wptampabay.org. On our website, we have links to our Slack chat group, our Facebook group, and links to all our meetups, even though all of our meetups are now combined into one gigantic meetup group. We are a member of the WordPress Tampa Bay Network, which is a loosely affiliated combined meetup groups for Tampa, St. Petersburg, Brandon, Valrico, Newport Richey, and Lakeland. I'm going to get rid of that question mark because I'm pretty much saying yes, Lakeland's included since I live here. Anyway, I think that makes it work, right?
Yeah, they're right.
So our upcoming meetups and events next month, December 11th. You folks who are actually on our meetup group may have gotten an invite about a WordPress or State of the Word live stream party, and then they yanked it away and took it away like the very next day. WordPress Central was testing creating network events, and they created a meetup event for this. So I went ahead and created one. We now have an official State of the Word watch party event on our meetup calendar. The State of the Word is when Matt Mullenweg is going to be at Madrid, Spain, and he's going to address the WordPress community and let everybody know what's going on in WordPress. It's at 1500 UTC on December 11th, which is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. I will confirm that beforehand. The link they've given us so far for the YouTube live stream is just youtube.com/WordPress. As soon as we have the official live link, I'll update that as well. Our watch party is actually just going to be, hey, join the YouTube's live stream, drop into our Slack chat, and we'll discuss it. We'll just drop into the whatever channel and just start talking in there about it. I'll be online and I'll be watching it, so I might as well, chat about it. The last one was pretty good, I thought. It's fascinating. Let's put it that way. It's always to me, it's always fascinating to find out where the community is going. Let's just put it that way. And so anyway, that's next month. We are canceling our December Ask Us Anything for the holiday. Since it's December 19th, there's no reason to add another event in there when we're that close to Christmas. So we're just going to go ahead and cancel next month. We'll have the State of the Word chat. I may end up doing a video about some kind of block editor thing, but I'm not committing to that yet because honestly, November and December are an absolute blur. Actually, I think October, November, and December are an absolute blur because everybody just is ramping towards going on vacation, getting out of there, selling, doing the Black Friday sales, etc. And no one really has time to do anything else. So in January, on the 16th, we have another Ask Us Anything Crowdsourcing WordPress Support Workshop. We will let you know if we're doing something in person instead. But for right now, that will be the next event we have in January. Okay, so we are looking for speakers. If you are interested in talking about WordPress, oh, by the way, hey Alicia, thanks for saying hello. Okay, you'll catch it in our thing. I just saw your chat come in. If you are interested in talking about WordPress, web design, front end or back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to web design, we would love to have you speak. If you've never spoken in public before, that's not a problem because more than likely you'll be doing it on our live stream through StreamYard. And you'll have one of us with you and you won't have to feel like you're all alone in the world. And you don't have to worry about anybody looking at you while you're talking, even though there are people looking at you. A whole 2 people are out there looking at us right now. So just in case you're curious. Let's see where we. Oh yeah, it's great for your resume, your LinkedIn, or your Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. And oh, my mouse is acting weird. That's what's wrong. Sorry, I may have to like plug it back in again soon. And if you're interested in talking, go to wptampabay.org up to the top of our menu where it says speakers and click the button that says call. It is our call for speakers, and you can fill out a form and get in touch with you. Okay, our code of conduct for tonight. There are no stupid questions except the questions you didn't ask. We collect questions from our Meetup group, and I've set up a form on our website, but we aren't publishing it we're not promoting it heavily yet. But we're going to try to start doing that more often prior to the next Ask Us Anything, so that we can try to get additional questions too from like the Facebook group and stuff. We do limit our discussion on questions to like 10 to 15 minutes so that we don't like end up taking the entire night talking about one particular question. And honestly, if your question goes more than 10 or 15 minutes, you probably want to be hiring a consultant anyway. So, and everyone will get to speak on the call tonight, but there's no crosstalk. That keeps us from stepping all over each other's conversations. So dial in etiquette for tonight. We're using StreamYard, and the invite link is posted on both Facebook and YouTube chat. Hey, Flame. Good evening. And we also have when you click that link, it will connect you to the guest instructions on how to connect to StreamYard. It will make sure that you connect up through your Google account, and will make sure that you have tested your connection, your video and your microphone connection first before you actually get pulled into the phone call. And if you're also watching the stream through Facebook or YouTube, please make sure that you mute the audio in those windows. You'll see it like when you're in Chrome, when you get your tabs open, you'll actually see a little microphone or a speaker icon in that tab. Just make sure that you go into YouTube and mute YouTube. If you're watching it on Facebook Live, mute Facebook Live. Because if you come in the call and you have those two working, you'll end up creating like an echo chamber, and we'll have to mute you. Okay. Tonight we do have one plugin spotlight. I didn't get to record this ahead of time, but I'm going to talk about it. It's called the Create Block theme. Let me quickly switch to a different. Actually, I think we're done with that. Sorry, here's where we get all fun and share some other screen. Share screen. There it is. Okay. The Create Block theme is by WordPress.org, and it allows you to create a new theme, blank theme, child theme, or style variation. The theme that you're creating is going to end up being a Gutenberg block theme, is what you'll actually be creating. I kind of want to show you how that looks. So I'm going to go into, where is my Ask Us website? Oh, come on, did I close it? Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. Okay. Share this tab instead. So this is I always have like a local setup. One thing you'll notice when you install the plugin, because I have it installed, Create Block Theme right here. But one thing you'll notice is that if you're not in a block theme at the moment, it isn't activated. So one thing you do have to do is actually activate a block theme first, a full screen editor theme, like 2023 or 2024. So we'll activate that first. And once you do that, then you get this nice little option underneath appearances. Can you guys see this okay? My mouse is going a little wonkers. You'll see this option here for Create Block Theme. And what it allows you to do is you can either export the current theme with all the user changes. You can create a child of 2023 or whatever current block theme you have active. You can clone the current block theme you have active. You can overwrite the current block theme you're active, or you can create a blank theme. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. I'll just call it Jimbo 2. Because I think I've already created one called Jimbo. You don't have to fill out any of this other stuff, but obviously if you're going to publish this theme, you would want to do that. But to create the theme, it pretty much just does this. And it's created, you activate it underneath appearances. So you go to, where's Jimbo 2? Here's Jimbo 2. So once you've activated it, you actually have some fun little options available. You can, let's see, customize Jimbo 2. You get all of the full screen editor configuration settings. You can see what templates are created. You can manage templates. You can add new templates. I'm going to do a talk about this probably in the upcoming future, because I have been kind of blown away by the full screen editor and the block themes and stuff like that. I watched a video because I'd heard about this, and I watched a video on YouTube, and a fella just kind of created a theme in like 15 minutes. And I was blown away at how pretty straightforward it is. If you're used to Elementor, if you're used to uh, Beaver Builder, if you're used to using Cadence or Bricks or any of those other ones, you kind of feel at home. So it's just something to look at. Something that I will probably end up like suggesting that we may want to promote and discuss. So that was just kind of neat. So we're going to be talking about it again tonight because some of the questions that came up tonight were about where is WordPress headed and stuff. So let me get my keynote back up again. So there's that. We'll come back to that again at some point in this conversation. So tonight, have any questions? Ask us anything. All right, let me pull us into group mode. All right, there we go. And I'm going to stop sharing that screen. Okay, so Alicia has joined us. Let me find Alicia. Let me find your question here. Here it goes. This is what you had reached out to us about, was how to post a good trending news story and crowdfund. Let's bring you into the stage, shall we?
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. Can you hear us okay? Yeah, your mic and your everything sounds great. So
excellent. Great. Thanks for hosting this. I'm really excited. I live a couple hours from Tampa. Love Tampa. Okay. Love the culture. The question is, like, right now, how do you post a story with a theme where the audience would say, well, why do we care? So that's what we're getting. We're competing. There's so much going on right now to capture someone's attention. So just stay with me while I phrase the question so you get the answer. Why would someone care? So the question is, how do you post a theme? Like, I love what you just showed us. Like, something's happening. It's a news story. Like, I reached out to Channel 2 in my town, Orlando. And I go, I've got this story. Can you cover it? And she kind of questioned me a little bit. She goes, let me take it to my team. And then I circumvented it. I go, yeah, why would the audience care? So maybe this isn't for WordPress, but it is, because you have such a short time to capture someone's attention with your website. Right. Like, how do you say something where they go, yeah, me too. Yeah, I care about that. So, like, is that an intrinsic thing? Is that an extrinsic?
It is kind of an intrinsic thing, but I mean, I know what you're asking too, because you're kind of asking, like, how do stories end up going viral and how do you attract the audience to see them?
Yeah, because someone cares.
Yeah. And there's a couple of things you've got to look at for that kind of stuff. You have to actually look at, what is the story I'm sharing? Who is pertinent to hearing it and interested in hearing it? And then you've got to look at, for a framework of like your website and possibly crowdfunding or raising money for it, you've really got to look at the virality of the story and what your social media connections are, where you can post things like that and make them be, relevant. That's kind of where things like connecting in. LinkedIn is probably not a good format for that kind of stuff, but like Instagram is, Facebook is,
Facebook groups.
Facebook groups, definitely. Yes. Yeah. Because like we have, like in my neighborhood, we have, I live in a historic neighborhood. So we have like a local neighborhood association Facebook group, and it's got like well over 1,200 members and stuff like that. And because of them being where they are, and because we're so close to downtown, we also have a Lakeland Now, which is like it's a nonprofit that pulls in news articles and stuff like that from multiple different media outlets, and they actually end up carrying stuff when we mention it. So,
it's a local thing.
Yeah,
even next door.
So it's viral.
Oh yeah, next door. That's right. Yeah.
Next door is good. Yeah, it has to be relevant too and catchy. So so you'd start with something on your website and then go off from there. Yeah,
I mean, you write your story because you would use your WordPress, your blog to give the most information. That's where you want to do like the story, the pictures, the details. Like if okay, let me do an example like along the lines
there's a little static here. I don't know what's going on.
It happens occasionally.
Jim. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I can. So you've got a blog. So you
Mhm.
want your blog to actually be your story. That's where you're going to be doing, your hook, your the details about the story, the pictures, the things that will actually build up interest and kind of treat it just like an actual news story where you get the details. And that's where you would have like your crowdfunding or a Give WP donation form or something of that nature. And then once you have the blog post completely written out, like a news article or a thing or a story, then you condense the hot parts of it, and that's what you post on your social and on Nextdoor and on your Facebook group and stuff like that. And that's how you build up momentum about it. And you just keep posting it.
And I would say also you need to post it on your Google My Business page before you do anything else. Google likes to know before Facebook, before Instagram. They want to know what you're doing before you start posting on your social.
Are you having difficulty streaming? Because I'm having a little hiccups. Is it my internet?
I think it may just be your connection, but the nice thing is that
that's strange.
if you can't hear us now, just rewatch the stream. It'll be on YouTube, and you'll be able to catch everything we said.
Thanks, Jim.
So,
Elaine, real quick, would you just repeat what you said with Google? You said something about Google.
Do you have a Google My Business?
I do.
Account.
I do.
Because you can make posts on Google My Business. And you don't have to, it won't let you go on and on for the length of a whole blog post, but you can have a little synopsis and a link to your website to where the full article is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And once you have all of that kind of stuff done, it's possible you might actually be able to get a news station interested. That's kind of the funny thing about it is like, if it is a personal interest story, if it's something along the lines, you're trying to raise money for a family or something of that nature, interview them, get a video. Video is huge for getting conversion like that as well. So, because it makes it personal.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Did that help?
Yes, tremendously.
Okay.
All these yummy Easter egg nuggets. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we try. We do our best. All right, cool. I'm going to drop you back out of the main chat here so we can you can watch it all you want. Okay. You can either stay down in the green room or you can just watch it from YouTube, whatever. So
okay.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Your first time here, right?
Yes, my first time. And I know Elaine and I have the same last name.
I noticed that when I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, I actually typed your name in. So yeah. It's kind of cool.
Jim, that's a great last name too. True.
I love my last name.
True.
Exactly. Have you been in WordPress a lot?
Yes, I have, depending on other competing interests for my time. So I like to play with my own website, and I belong to a WordPress group here in Orlando.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
West
Is
Orange.
that the one that does the they like meet in person, don't they?
Yeah, we do. We meet at a coffee shop.
Oh, how
cool. That's the West Orlando I told you about. They do.
Is that the one? Yeah.
That's the one. The West Orlando.
Cool.
I've watched some of your videos. They're very good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good group.
Because we're not competing, but we haven't been meeting in person because we're all over the place. Like Travis is up in Newport Richie, Elaine is in Tampa, I'm in Lakeland. I think Jen's in St. Pete. Yeah. And we just haven't been able, like, after the pandemic, we never had a place to do a local meetups anymore. So I am considering, for Lakeland anyway, I am considering putting stuff on the calendar for like a WordPress Wednesdays or something, and doing like an hour at a coffee shop. And if folks want to come by and say, hey, and talk about something, we can, stuff like that.
It's really good. It's good networking. And you just, that cohesiveness, it's like, 8 to 9, it works perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing this since 2014, Elaine? Is that when we started doing the St. Pete ones, I think?
Oh,
that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah. We were doing in-person meetups from the 2014 WordCamp in Tampa all the way through in St. Pete. And we never stopped doing them until the pandemic hit, and then we switched to online, and we were live streaming. We didn't even have a skid. Like, we went from 1 month being in person to 1 month being online and streaming. and we were doing it every month pretty much from then on. We take a couple of months off in the summertime when everybody's vacationing, and we sometimes take some holiday breaks too, but pretty much this is where we are every month. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, me too. Okay.
All right. Take care.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's see. Next question. This one, I'm going to go ahead and ask this one because I think we had a person who dropped into our live chat last month at the very end of the phone, at the end of the call, and they dropped a question about Elementor. And we've got a very specific question about Divi tonight. Actually, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. I don't want to show that one yet. We'll share the Divi one first. We'll do this one first. Kevin asks, I'm trying to figure out the best way to create clean vertical tabs that can be used as a Divi module and in a drop-down menu. I'm going to route anyone for Divi or Elementor to their Facebook groups. Because to be honest, those two themes are premium. And if you don't own it, you can't answer any questions on it. And the Divi Facebook group is called Divi Theme User. Their unofficial theme user group. It's got a lot of activity. That's where I would go if you've got Divi questions. And there may even be like some local Divi groups, but I haven't seen one in a while. They stopped, I think, after the pandemic too. But the Divi theme user group is a good place to go for Facebook. Most of the folks there are very friendly. And for Elementor, Elementor has a Facebook group. It's private, but if you search for Elementor theme or Elementor users, you'll get this group. It's got that weird looking 1181040449, whatever. Where they have an official group, but I noticed that the Elementor private group has much more activity, a lot more activity, and that's where we route people for those two particular things. We have Beaver Builder has one too, Cadence has one, Bricks Blocks has one. Most of those groups, Generate Press has one, Generate Press and Generate Blocks has a user group as well on Facebook. And I think those are probably the best places to go to ask those particular questions because they're so specific. I would love to be able to answer Elementor and Divi questions, but to be honest, I don't use Elementor. I use the block editor. I have completely shifted that direction. And that was actually the question I think that I wanted to come up with, because the next question we had was Sean asked, is it better to create custom themes with PHP over using a website builder like Elementor? And if so, what specifically is better? Well, these days, you're not creating custom themes with PHP. You're kind of creating a block theme with PHP and a combination of that in React. And the plugin I just showed you, the Create Block Theme, creates a blank full screen editor block theme that you can then customize with your own styles and patterns and everything else like that. And that would be the direction I would recommend going in if you're going to look at that. What was the one that they were really pushing? Was it Hello Theme, Travis? The one that, the big theme that had the wizard, that
Ollie theme
plugin. Oh, Ollie theme. Yeah, Ollie theme. Wow. I watched their videos for Ollie theme. Blown away. The fellow who does the Ollie theme, very impressive. For a free theme, wow. It's worth checking out. But again, if you're trying to create themes, I mean, if you're looking at the concept of building stuff for your clients, the direction WordPress is going, and that's actually where this next question comes from. Let me see. It's where did that particular question go? Oh, there it is. Sorry, Elsie asked, I'm just interested in getting people's opinions on the direction of WordPress. The direction of WordPress is the block editor. That's their direction. That's totally their way of going. And I would agree that if you go back and look at our videos on our website from 2018, 2017 and stuff like that, where we talked about Gutenberg or bust and stuff like that, we were not terribly on board yet because it wasn't there yet. It wasn't ready. But if you look at it now, it's getting much, much, much better. I actually ended up rebuilding a Divi site in about 3 hours, completely inside the block editor. And it wasn't hard because Cadence, Generate Blocks, and WordPress itself all have block patterns for things like query loop and cards and blog pictures with excerpts, and basically all of the little things that Elementor and Divi and Beaver Builder and all these things are doing. They kind of have them. They're called patterns, and you just snap them on in, or you recreate them yourself. And
it's when you want to start creating custom patterns and kind of like implement them into your custom theme, where it starts to get a little dicey, because the documentation around that isn't super great. And a lot of like this setup around it is like how blocks are, where you have like the HTML tag conditional comments, where like all the settings are stored, but then you still, like when you're creating, and I speak to this because like we're doing a site redesign now, and I actually hired a developer off Codable to handle all of the front end block editor stuff, just because on the development side, the documentation for it just is not there yet to be able to like really dive in and pull this stuff off. And so when you're building out these patterns, like, and within a theme like that, you don't only have to like copy that HTML comment section that contains like all the settings for a block, but you have to make sure that the HTML markup within that is also exact too, because if it's a little bit off, then you go to use that pattern and like, hey, we can't load the block, attempt block recovery, and it turns into a whole
explodes. Well, and there's the thing too is like things that you would expect to work, like the filters that have existed forever, like the excerpt and the content. You know, those are part of the query loop. They've always been part of the query loop. And if you use an excerpt from the pattern library, or just even from the Gutenberg block editor and use excerpt, it doesn't recognize the excerpt filter. So like if you want to write to that filter to add something or show something or change it or include additional content, which a lot of things like ACF fields and custom fields and post pods and stuff like that, they all do. They either write to the excerpt or they write to the content. It can't write to the excerpt on an excerpt block because it's not calling that filter. So I don't know why that is, but I found that
integrating dynamic content, like one of the things I'm trying to figure out how to approach is like our pricing tables will be done in the block editor, but I want the actual prices to be dynamic. Based on like, I wanted to pull it in live for like, we use easy digital downloads for selling our software. So I want to pull in whatever the price is for that product directly from EDD, but also filter that based on if we are running a promotion or if somebody has a discount code active. I wanted to show the price based on like what discount or promotion is active. And so like if we're doing it the old way, that's just some very simple in the midst of that pricing table, just some PHP conditionals, like pull in the price and like show it like one or two ways if it's on sale or not. Like now that we're doing it in the block editor,
you
like,
still can use shortcodes. So you could write that as a PHP shortcode and just output the content based on that. So that might be a way around that. I'm finally starting to look at writing code for shortcodes for the first time ever. So yeah.
That'll probably end up being some sort of a custom block, because granted, it doesn't have that many settings. It's just like, hey, like select which EDD download, and then like depending on the download, like what pricing variation is this? Because you also want it to be able to like dynamically inject like the URL to like add it to cart and go to checkout.
Yeah, well, I know for me, I was rebuilding a site and most of the site's content was in pods. So I was running into the issue where I couldn't get my pods templates to show on the excerpt coming from, because it wasn't running, it wasn't calling the filter the excerpt. So I got around it by actually going into the block editor, and in the query loop, it gives you a post template, and the post template is where you build the model for your post. And what I ended up doing was pulling in a pods block for pods item. And I just told it to point at the current post and pull this template, and it just did it. And I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. So
definitely on the implementation end, like things are finally getting to where they've always needed to be for this to like really be successful and really be usable by a lot of people like the way it's needed to be. It's just on the development end, like if you haven't done it before, or if like you like say you normally work more on the back end and in plugins and
Yeah.
stuff, and you don't normally like it. Used to be easy, like very easy, like you could jump in and do theme work because it wasn't
Yeah, because
terribly
it was
complicated.
PHP. You didn't have to know
Yeah,
React. You didn't
yeah.
have to know all that other stuff. And now it's the
Even if you know React, it's just still because the stuff in the Gutenberg code base is just changing quite frequently, and it's hard to keep on
well,
top of
and
if
they
you're not
didn't
doing it day
write
to
a
day.
good support for custom post types, custom fields, or any of that stuff. They just didn't write a good interface
Yeah.
for that. They're
Yeah.
throwing it into
Yeah.
the HTML for the
Yeah.
content, and that's the stupidest place in the world for it to be.
I don't know if it's like fully Gutenberg or if it's like quasi Gutenberg, like trying to look like native to that interface, but really isn't. But I think what the WooCommerce is working on for like their new like product editor stuff
Mhm.
is like kind of it's like what
That's the format they're wanting
what
us
it's
to
always
everyone to
needed to
go.
be.
Okay.
What it always should have
Okay.
been, because think about when you set up a WooCommerce product, it's a blend of like, yes, content, but also a lot of metadata. And like all
Massive
that
amount of
metadata, they
Well,
don't
like
have it
all
all
the
shoved into the sidebar.
variations are
Yeah.
like taxonomy linked together and stuff. It's
Yeah.
very
So
confusing.
like what roughly from memory, because I don't use WooCommerce, I just saw like a brief
Right.
bit about it. There was like at the top of like where the content editor would be, where like kind of like a
Mhm.
tab bar where you could switch between like, okay, edit the product data, then also like shipping info, pricing info, and it was kind of like broken down in a nice way of like, yes,
Okay.
this is what it's needed to be for a very long time.
Well,
for
and
this to
to
be
me, that
successful.
actually makes sense. Is that that's kind of the point. If I'm in there creating a post into a product post, my entire Gutenberg block editor screen should be themed to the product.
Yeah.
And it should have meta boxes and stuff like that that are themed to the product. And if I need a block editor piece of part of that, that's fine, but it shouldn't be the be all end all everywhere. And it certainly shouldn't all be squished into that right hand side either. But is it? That's the question.
Also, having to put CSS properties in a JSON file is not fun. I'm sorry.
No.
It's a
Yeah,
pain.
there are a
Oh,
lot of
boy.
things I'm not thrilled with, but there are a lot of things that I'm actually kind of impressed with. They haven't, at least one of the things they haven't thrown out the window is they're still putting, when they output the article for a post, the standard content, semantical content, they still put the post type, they still put the taxonomy, they still put all of the necessary pieces in that article when it outputs, so you can still style at that level. And that's the most important thing you need to have anyway. I mean, they haven't thrown everything out the window. My biggest issue that I'm finding is just how, when you're adding dynamic content in the block editor, you're doing an awful lot of divving. You're adding so many divs. But at least Cadence and Generate Blocks, they both allow you to define the container you're creating. They give you the ability to define what it is. Is it a section? Is it an article? Is it a div? Is it a span? All that kind of stuff. So I'm definitely
sometimes like, hey, I just want to slap a CSS class on this like root container and just like handle the styling.
Perfect segue, honestly, for lanes, because you can, at the block level, you can add, there's an advanced option at the very bottom where you can add in a custom CSS class, just like you should have always been able to do.
Yeah.
But Elaine found a really cool, Elaine, you want to talk about it?
What did we say the name? What was the name of that? The custom text something.
Custom text. Let me see if I get the name out handy. Let me on my Slack. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys.
To my Slack.
But then if you're creating a custom pattern and you use a CSS class, you need to make sure like it's both synced in like the HTML comments for the pattern and in like the HTML mark. It's like,
yeah. I think they're trying to make the concept of a global pattern a little easier, but we'll see. Yeah. Like I have yet to be able to...
Jim, do you mean a reusable block?
Different, completely different thing. A reusable block in a pattern library, completely different. So, because apparently you can copy a block pattern into a theme, but it's got to be block pasted into the right place.
Yeah.
Is
it a synced pattern or a regular pattern?
Good question. Generate Blocks Pro allows you to save local patterns on your theme, so you can create a pattern. You can start building your own pattern library. Yeah. But you can sync them or you can unsync them and stuff like that as well. So
I know it's in the Gutenberg plugin. I don't remember if it's shipped in WordPress 6.4. that you can export patterns out. Like it'll export out,
Yes.
I think, like a PHP file.
Yeah, that's in 6.4, I think,
Yeah.
or in the upcoming whatever the change is that's coming after that. Did you find it, Elaine? Because I am looking.
Well, it's custom text plugin.
That's right. Hang
And,
on. Custom text formats is what it's called. That's it. Let me go ahead and copy this in here real quick, and then we'll share it on the screen real fast. I gotta hit enter first. First, tell them where you found out about it.
It
That's
was
the important
on
thing.
Solid WP does a monthly plugin roundup. And Nathan Ingram is the organizer for that. They send me an email and then I sign up. And then I can go to the webinar for free, and then they'll give you, it's not open to the public, but they'll give you a replay, which is very handy because they move pretty quick.
Yeah,
in
this
the
is
plugin.
that site, Solid WP, and you're going to like his academy, right? I think it's.
I just automatically, because I guess I was once iThemes, so I'm still
Yeah.
on somebody's email list.
Oh, there it is. Formerly iThemes training, looking for iThemes. So yeah, this is it. Solid Academy.
Yeah, Solid. There he is, Nathan.
Yep, Nathan Ingram.
Does he say something about his monthly
not
roundup?
here.
But they do a lot
there's
of
Solid
stuff.
Academy Live. So yeah, these live public sessions are recorded and added to our library, so you can watch them anytime. And those are free. The ones that are once a month, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is most popular. One of his most popular webinars is that roundup every month for plugins.
So the one you found that you pointed to me, which I thought was really kind of cool, was this one. It was called Custom Text Formats. Oh, I must not have shared it. I'm sorry. My bad. I stopped sharing instead of sharing. Sometimes, Jim.
Which is something that you need that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah, because this was a limitation I found in the block editor, is that when you're adding in the block editor, if you want to take a portion of the text you're adding, like in a headline, and you want like one word in that headline to pop, like be in bold, that's easy because you just, you go along and like just highlight that word and put it in bold. But let's say you want that word that's in bold to suddenly be in a different font, to be, maybe you wanted a different color, maybe all that kind of stuff. And that's something you can do really easily if you know HTML and CSS. You just put a span around it, and style it. But the problem is with the block editor is that you can't just put spans around things without going into the HTML editor. And when you go into the HTML editor in a block, you can make a mess if you don't know what you're doing, especially if the thing that you're creating is kind of like, maybe it's a cover block with the image behind it and a hero in front, like kind of that kind of a thing, like a hero block image for like a website. And part of the cover block is it puts a background image that fills up the whole top of a website, and you've got a big old, hero statement in the front, and you want to take one word there and make it a different color and all this other kind of stuff. You can't do that in the cover block. This thing that Elaine found allows you to do that, because it allows you to create HTML and CSS and wrap it, basically say, do I want this to wrap as spans, or do I want to wrap it as a div, all that kind of stuff. And you can just basically access it in the block editor.
Because just a couple months ago, I had a job where I wanted, I'm a designer. I want to really force that text to do what I want it to do. And I'm adding CSS classes and then going back and, styling that CSS, and then expecting someone else that I'm handing it off to run with this. And it just really was not working because I used the block editor, and it was tough. It would have been tough. But if I had known about this custom text formats, these things kept repeating on lots of different posts, and I could have set it up ahead of time and shown them how to do it more easily.
Is this the segment of the meetup where we're sharing cool blocks?
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? Go for
Drop
it.
one in the private chat if you want to pull it up here. It's called very simply
icon block. Okay,
Icon block.
It's called simply what?
icon block. And then I'm going
Icon
to shock
block.
you with what it does. Let you put
Does it create an
on your
icon?
page. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it's super lightweight. It includes by default like close to 300 icons that are available in WordPress. But also you are able to extend it very easily with a JavaScript filter to provide your own SVG icons. So if you have your own icon set, say for products, industries you might be showcasing on your site often, you can easily register like those in JavaScript.
Yeah.
And like have like
I know,
an easy
Generate Blocks has the ability to add an icon to anything.
Yeah.
So they have a headline block, and basically you can add an icon in front of a button, any of that kind of stuff, and it does the same thing. It allows you to do like an SVG registration. But like you said, if you just need the icon block, there you go.
And as someone who's like super picky about third-party code they allow on their site, it's a really good block.
Nice. That's good to know. Icons can be a real, bugaboo.
Yeah.
Well, I was always thinking, and like this came across like from the Codable person we're working with. Like I was just looking for like I want to be able to like easily have a custom defined icon library for stuff we are using internally. And I'm like, are we gonna have to like use the media library? Like, what are we gonna do here? Like this was just perfect because I mean, you might be able to see it. Yeah, there might be a screenshot there that kind of shows.
Let me see. Hang on. I'll scroll down.
It's like the 4th or 5th one in, I think.
Sorry, I hope I didn't close it. Where the hell did? Sorry, my bad. This is the problem when I have way too many windows open. Did I lose it? Nope, I'm still there. Okay. Give me a second. I will find it. At some point. I'm scrolling across all of my tabs. One of these tabs is it. I know it is. How come it's not telling me which ones I'm sharing? Huh. Oh, duh. It's the one that has the big screen on it that says I'm sharing you. Dude. Okay. Yes, there you go. So there it allows you. There. Lovely.
Yeah, I kind of like
Yeah.
But then there's a little modal that can pop up that kind of gives you like it breaks out the icons into categories, and even the ones you upload custom can be in their own
watching
categories.
the little GIF and I'm like ridiculously impressed because that allows you to do gradients and everything. That's pretty impressive, dude. I may take a look at this one. Yeah, this is quite neat. Yeah, cool. Very cool. All right, I'll definitely put that on my list. That was something I found when I was working on a website recently, is that I needed to, I have breadcrumbs. Most people will use Yoast because, Yoast SEO has breadcrumbs built into it. Well, I'm getting sick of Yoast. It takes up too much of your site. And it just really is. It's overbearing. It's got too much stuff there. So I'm looking at switching to either Rank Math or Slim SEO or one of the other ones. But I needed breadcrumbs, and I found this incredibly clean breadcrumb block by Tran. And I had a question about it, and he responded immediately in the support. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Well, I checked out another thing he created called Better YouTube Embed. And what it does is that, we've got the YouTube embed block, which is built by WordPress, and it will pull in the YouTube. If you paste in the URL, it'll pull in the embed. But what happens on your site is that when you do that, you're reaching out and pulling in an image, pulling in the stuff from YouTube, and it's taking time, takes a while to load, everything else like that. His Better YouTube Embed grabs a thumbnail, grabs the title, and puts it as the caption. Perfect. Absolutely seamless, responsive, everything. I was blown away. Great little block. Oh, we got new comments. Nope. Oh, we're good. Okay, so I know I was gushing about blocks and stuff. Let's get back to questions. Okay. Because we could go on about blocks forever, and we're already at 7:14. We've got 2 more questions to get in here. So, let's see. Rona Reddick asks, good day. My question is about how to add a payment tab to your website. That one will basically determine what are you trying to sell. If you're trying to sell products,
I would.
go ahead.
What kind of payment are you trying to collect? Are you
That
selling
too.
products, or is it just like invoice payment collection? Those are
Mm,
two different kind of things here.
that's good too. Yeah. Let's go from the route of collecting donations, collecting payment for an item, purchasing something. If you're collecting donations, I recommend Give WP. I know Gravity Forms has the capability to do donations, but the payment gateways cost money. And Give WP, their base free product, gives you Stripe and PayPal for free. So you can set up donations pretty easily, which was the whole reason they did it. They did it so that folks could actually create crowdfunding and donation sites very easily. So I highly recommend Give WP if you're just doing a donation site or a crowdfunding site or something like that. If you are collecting payment for a service or like an appointment book or something of that nature, I point people towards Square appointments. That would be like your Square, like the little thing that people use when they go to like Starbucks, and not Starbucks, but most coffee shops, they have the little thing, the little, where you make payments at the front. Square provides an add-on called to their product called Square Appointments, and it allows you to do services and it allows you to set up prices for your services, appointments for your services, your window for your services, your necessary block times that like if you need lead time in between, like 15 to 30 minutes or an hour in between appointments. It also allows you to charge for cancellations, all of it. Square Appointments is highly my recommendation if you're doing any of that kind of stuff, because you can embed that form on your website very easily as well. They have a whole process for that. So if that's what you're looking for, holler at me. You can ding me in chat or on Meetup, and I can point you out to those kind of things. If you do want to do something in WordPress, like I said, Gravity Forms has payment gateways and stuff like that. Stripe, Square, PayPal, if you're international, Molly, and some others. And that's option. If you're selling products, like total products, you probably want to look at like WooCommerce.
Hey, Jim, highlight the latest comment in the chat, please.
Oh, sure. Happily. I like the latest. Oh, there she is. Wow. Reddick. Sorry, I typed her name wrong. Be accepting payment for voiceover work as well as products that I will be eventually selling. Okay.
If the voiceover work pricing is fixed and you're also selling products, you could probably do that through WooCommerce. If the payment for the voiceover work is a bit variable, like you're sending them an invoice or sending them a quote, it's
Square
probably
invoices.
easier. Yeah, or even like just embedding a Gravity form that's just like, hey, type in your like name, the invoice number, and like how much you owe me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for voiceover work, it's typically it's variable rate by rate, isn't it? Where you have to either charge for like the number of words you're going to be saying or how long the thing's going to be. So to me, that sounds more like an intake thing. But if people are paying you, you probably want to do that through an invoice, like Travis was talking about. And Square has an invoices feature that probably is. I use Harvest for that myself, but Square Invoice has an embeddable piece on websites for that as well. So that might be an option. But yeah, if you're collecting it for intake questions about your product, your voiceover stuff, then yes, I would create a form and kind of like do like a calculator along the lines of like, how many words, what my rate is, what your actual end up price would be based on words and rate and stuff like that. And if you got any questions about that, if you have Gravity Forms, you can reach out to us at Gravity Form Support, and we can answer that question pretty quickly. I love creating calculator forms. It's one of my favorite things to do. So happy to help you there if that's something.
I worked on the product for like 6 years and never used calculations.
Seriously? Wow.
Seriously.
And I do it all the time. I mean, we get people coming in asking all kinds of calculation forms, and I've done dry cleaning calculations. I've done, property, what you call it, square footage and property calculations. And yeah, I love doing calculations. It's fascinating. So, but yeah, if you have something set up ahead of time for your variable rates and stuff for your voiceover work, I would do a calculator because it allows someone to see what your price, what they, because they don't know what your product's going to cost. And if you can punch in and say, well, I've got 1,000 words, or I've got a 5-minute bit, or I've got this thing to do, and you can give them kind of like an idea of how much their project is going to cost, and with options. And then you can also say like, well, that's a little too custom, so you need to contact me, and we can discuss rates at that point. But that's kind of what you would want to do, is create like a calculator form that would give them that capability. But yeah, if you're selling products, WooCommerce is an option, but I still point people towards Square just because Square's payment processing is so simple. Yeah, as far as like the configuration on it, typically. I hope that helped, Rena. Let me know if that helped. So
Interesting, that whole calculator form.
yeah, have you ever? I mean, you've seen them where
Yeah.
you go on sites and people have a calculator, and it, kind of like it gives you an idea how much the product's going to cost before you get there, or how much the project is going to cost before you get there. And yes, we'll have international clients that will simply need sweepers, and you're correct, the rates will vary. Okay, yeah, so you're definitely looking at a calculator form, Rena. So,
Well, Travis, why didn't you ever use one after all
I've
that?
just never had the need. There's plenty of features in that product I've just never touched because the product is
I
like just
have
that
never
deep.
touched Twilio. I have never touched a lot of our stuff. I hate HubSpot, so
Hmm.
I've only had to get into HubSpot to
Never
answer
created a
support
form with post
questions.
fields. Like
I've done a lot of those. So obviously,
What?
'cause
With
I
what
come from
fields?
pods.
post fields.
Yeah, for creating posts on your WordPress
Oh.
website.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sounds really weird.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Pods has a Gravity Forms add-on that does that as well. So, all right. So I think
Oh.
our last question for the evening is from Kenneth, and he asks, best lead generation ideas. That is a loaded question.
Yes. That is less a question, more a talk title.
It really is. It's a talk title. I was actually watching a video recently. It's by Web Architect, and he was talking about how to get leads to your website and that kind of a thing. And it was coming from the viewpoint of, if I want to get a specific kind of business, or I want to attract that audience that is looking for that business, you either want to write two kinds of things. You either want to write you want to be an accumulator of stories. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Pennywise the clown has just visited my room. I guess I did something that made balloons dance. I don't know what it was, but oh well. Anyhow,
You're a
you've got two
magician.
options when you're doing blog articles. You are either going to be doing an accumulation of news and reposting those on your website, like top 10 best ideas for this, or top 10 ideas for that. Or maybe you are a person who, for your particular audience, you pull in all of these other articles that other people have done and repost them on your site and review them, and accumulate them and be kind of like a news aggregator, and become a project. What the word is I'm looking for? You become a knowledge base expert in that particular thing, and that's what you're doing by accumulating those. Or you're writing for your audience, and you are writing very specific keyword generated articles for your blog site that go towards your lead generation. So like if you are I don't know, let's say I am a person who makes scissors, or like, I don't know, metal tools, or, kids stuff. You accumulate a lot of articles about proper, I don't know, occupational therapy for kids tools and scissors and pens and pencils and things like that. And you become a resource for parents who are looking to buy scissors for their kids that are safe for left-handers or right-handers and stuff like that. And that's how you get that particular audience to come to your site, because you become a knowledge base expert in the thing that you're trying to get the lead people to come to you about. And that is how that works. So I hope that made sense. You have any thoughts on that one, Elaine or Travis?
Pretty much
Yeah.
covers it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is that that was the website, or the YouTube art video I watched was how to become an audience expert and get people to your website for your particular audience. And that was it. And I said, that's pretty brilliant,
Your
actually.
multi-channel marketing,
Yeah.
and being
Well, and
an
again,
expert.
too, the thing that Travis was talking about too, using like the Nextdoor, using your local Facebook groups and stuff like that. Like our Lakeland has two different. We have several different local Facebook groups, but one of them specifically, which I thought was very interesting. One doesn't allow you to post any things about your own business, but you can ask for business recommendations, for companies that do things. And then the other one does a Saturday post where they post promote yourself, promote your business, promote yourself. And that's exactly what all the Saturday posts are about that. So I thought that was very interesting. So I hate Facebook, but at the same time, I'm starting to recognize that part of it is pretty useful.
Powerful.
Yeah, pretty powerful for promoting business work, especially if your audience is going to be local, go for it. If your audience is going to be nationwide, then you niche. You really do want to start doing niche marketing, and you find your niche, you identify your niche, you do the keyword research for that niche, and then all of your YouTube videos, your posts on social, your posts on your website, your posts on Facebook, everywhere are to drive into that niche. So I think that was everything. I think that were all of our questions. And look at us. We made it at 7:26. We did exactly an hour. I don't see any new questions out there in the box. Nice job, guys. I'm always impressed when we can end this.
One more question. 404s.
Yeah,
What
not found.
Yeah, I mean,
what about them?
There are all these bizarre things that it supposedly cannot find that just have no business even. It's just, individual files that are supposedly they can't find within the WordPress install or something. I don't know why they list 404s. I forget what I used to find the 404s.
Redirection is a great plugin for that.
Yeah,
I've
been using that.
Your 404s.
But some of the things aren't logical as to.
A lot of
just
times,
universally said, if you can't.
A lot of times,
this,
if you're getting those 404s, those are hackers. Some of them are trying to find a way into your site through specific ways. And what you do is you look at your logs from your redirection, and you see the patterns they're using, and you reroute those redirections to basically catch them and put them someplace else. So that's what I do.
Travis, is that anything to add?
No, I never really scanned for 404s, so.
Okay.
I'm actively looking at a redirection for logs. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I'm moving a site, and we're having to change a lot of we're changing the names of some of the slugs and directories and stuff like that. So I need to use redirection, or in this case, Flywheel's redirection. Flywheel has a redirection built into it, so I don't need to actually use the plugin, and I can set up those redirection strings in there. I also try to I have a custom 404 page, which you can do on your theme, and it's like, oh no, didn't find what you were looking for. Here's our list of our most recent blog articles. Here's my this. Here's our services. Here's our call to actions. You can turn a 404 into something useful, and that's what
like a table of contents or something. Yeah,
kind of like a table of contents, but definitely the page itself should list a search box. It should list your most recent articles. It should list things along those lines so that it kind of you redirect them into the things you want them to go to, because dead links happen. Google crawls everything, but it's just one of those kind of things. I would highly recommend things like turning off media attachment pages, which I think is something that's coming in 6.4 finally.
Turning them off.
WordPress is
through
Yeah, WordPress is turning off the
through
media
Yoast
attachment
or-
pages.
Yeah.
So that's, I think it's just wonderful. It's about freaking time they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one ever used them. I know I didn't. So anyway, that help,
Okay.
Elaine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
That was
cool.
helpful. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
anytime. All right, folks. So first off, like and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, if you don't have a little thing down there that says you're subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Please like this video and let the YouTube algorithm know that you love us. Please visit our website at wptampabay.org. We have all of our prior live streams are listed there. All of our prior videos are listed there. It's a wonderful place to go. Oh, you're welcome, Reno. Thank you. Thank you so much as well. Thank you for joining the call. You're one of the 2 viewers. I always love when folks watch our videos. I always check out our videos after the fact, and it's always nice to see that people have actually watched this stuff. So it's a good thing. Let's put it that way. So again, thank you, Elaine and Travis, for joining tonight and being the wonderful host that you are and keeping me on task. It's always a wonderful thing. And trying to find our end cap. There it is. All right. I'm going to re-record this at some point soon. This is the old end cap. I'm going to do it anyway. But anyway, we, again, remember that we have the the State of the Word watch party next month, December 11th at 10 a.m. If you are subscribed to our meetup or, RSVP to that, you'll get updates as to what the actual YouTube stream webpage is. And I will add additional notes about where we're going to be meeting on our Slack chat. Sorry, I'm seeing new comments. Oh, good. Thank you so much, Rena, for liking and subscribing. That's wonderful. We need that. Trying to get this channel monetized. Should have done it years ago. I don't know what my problem was. Now I'm going to be playing catch up for it. But anyway, thank you again for coming tonight. We will be back here again not in a Ask Us Anything style this next month, but we will in January. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all of those wonderful holidays that fall into December that
Jim?
everyone celebrates. Yes.
Happy holidays.
Oh, thank you, sir. Happy holidays. Much
Holidays.
easier. I appreciate the simplicity. Here we go. Happy holidays, everyone. Be safe out there. We will see you in January. Okay? Thank you for watching a recorded session from WordPress Tampa Bay Meetup. We meet monthly through Meetup on live stream on the 3rd Tuesday of the month through our YouTube channel and Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up in YouTube and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of new videos. Find out more about WordPress Tampa Bay at our website at wptampabay.org. Thanks.